So then we come down to graham crackers.
I love this story.
So Sylvester Graham.
Fair enough.
He was a doctor, you know that.
Well, and a minister.
God bless him.
Sort of like the Kellogg Group.
Yeah. So a 19th century minister, that's when he was, the 1800s, right?
Yep.
Believed romantic feelings of any sort had to be
bad.
Was bad. I don't have my glasses, so had and bad.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So bad and delirious.
Okay.
You want to read this one?
Excuse me, sir. Okay. Let's start again. Gdayall, and welcome to episode 56. Happy accidents. Or if you ask my dad, I might have been one. You never know. Now, we are talking about food happy accidents. So one of them is Toll House cookies. So chocolate chip cookies. Ruth Wakefield in the 30s put chocolate in her chocolate cookies, but instead of melting the chocolate first, the thinking was they would melt when she did it. Mm-hmm. And guess what? Nope. No.
How old was that chocolate?
Yeah, well, that's it. Well, you know, we did talk about that ages ago, and she got ripped off because I think for selling her Toll House cookie recipe, she got just free chocolate. Yeah. I think that's what it was. So a lot of things that we enjoy are sort of accidental inventions.
Mm-hmm. It's a mistake.
It is.
I didn't mean to do it. It wasn't me.
It wasn't me. But if it turns out well, I thought that up. Now, Phil, how are you feeling today?
Well, like from yesterday? Or?
Well, you know, because some days you're more ranty than others.
Yeah, I'm not that ranty. I was ranty yesterday.
Oh, I'm glad I missed it then.
Yeah, talking to lawyers and stuff. Yeah.
Oh, that's always fun.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Like consulary.
So, Robert Duvall.
Yeah.
Now, because we would like you, Brendan and I, to try this mood enhancer. It was invented in 1929.
Yeah.
It contains the chemical lithium, which is used to treat depression, bipolar disorder, and the one I'm concerned about, mania.
I'm going to put this in my body?
You're going to put this in your body.
Wait a minute. Lithium, I got that in my car. I got a whole floor full of lithium.
Maybe you'll go faster.
Yeah. What, to the toilet?
Just a sip. Just have a sip.
Tastes like citrate of magnesia. Yeah, I think I'm going to have to go.
What does it taste like?
Tastes lemony. Yeah, like Alka-Seltzer.
Or maybe lemon?
Lemon? What the hell's lemon?
Well, remember, 7-Up.
Mm-hmm. Are you feeling less manic?
That is 7-Up.
That's 7-Up.
That's 7-Up.
Wow.
So that's what it was. That's what it was.
As Soupy Salesman says, 7-Up.
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 So that was the accident of 7-Up. It was supposed to be a mood enhancer.
Wow.
And now you don't have to finish.
So now if you put vodka in it, then it becomes a mood enhancer.
I got a bottle of Seagram 7 in there.
Yeah.
7 and 7.
Yeah, 7 and 7. Wow, that's an oldie.
That's
an oldie but goodie.
But a goodie. Yes, that's what my friends who bring it back to me. It's like, why do you want like homeless alcohol? There's nicer alcohol. I'm like, but I grew up with it.
Wait a minute. No, it's Seagram 7 Crown and 7-Up.
Yeah, that's right. I had the dodgy
Somebody
one,
did that in
a
I don't know, a skit or in a movie or something when they said 7, what's that? And they had to interpret it as Seagram 7 Crown.
Yes. So that is one of our things. Now,
better than 4 Roses.
Better than what was it called? Usually, some people drink big cans of it in. It was a malt liquor.
Oh,
Colt 45.
Colt 45.
Right. So now we're going to get back to accidents now. A
lot of accidents happened with Colt 45, MD-80. Yeah.
Now, we've had our own happy accident with one of our products at work.
Yep. You want me to tell you about it?
Please tell me the story.
Well, you know the story, but I'll tell everybody else. All right. So we were, having a go with doing pork sausages, breakfast sausages, right? So I figured, well, nobody likes cooking a breakfast sausage for 20 minutes before it's ready. No. So we'll do the cook and serve. So I talked to the butcher and they have all the facilities there. And I said, well, why don't we smoke it? Because that'll cook it and give it a nicer flavor. So they did that. So when we got it back, of course, we had to try it. We cooked up a few, warmed it up because it's just cook and serve now.
Yep.
And it didn't taste like a breakfast sausage anymore. And I said, "Did you put the right stuff in here?" And they swore up and down. Yeah. So by smoking it, actually changed the flavor of it. And it tasted fine, but it wasn't what we wanted the profile to be. So we gave some to Sean.
Yep.
And Sean says, "Oh, these are the same as hot links." I never had a hot link in my life, but that's like big in lots of parts of the country.
Yeah.
So we said, "Oh, we have hot links now."
We did. So we had, and then we got some other breakfast. So we now offer breakfast sausage.
Yeah. So now the difference between the breakfast sausage and the hot links, both of them are the same ingredients, except one has one less additive as a preservative, which you have to do by law. And these breakfast sausages are steam cooked.
Right.
Okay, so it gets cooked without having any flavor to it.
Yep.
And the only thing you do is you could eat it out of the package if you wanted it cold, but it's
Really,
made to be warmed up and
brown
it off.
And you can actually chop it up and make some sausage gravy as well. It tastes beautiful.
Biscuits,
Okay, well, we'll get on to more of that. So we've got a bit of housekeeping.
Yes. All right. So we got the listener discount code for this month of October, which is, and it's almost the World Series time.
That's right.
It's play ball.
And if everyone's hearing is okay right now, so you can look for the listener discount in the search section and just type that in, and the products will come up, and it's got its own little purple logo. And you can just pop that in at the end when you're checking out, and that will give you your discounts on those items.
And if you want to communicate with us, we're at podcast@usafoods.com.au.
Please do. We'd like ideas, feedback, all sorts of things.
Okay, so remember now, as we get towards the end of the show, Barbara has her personal best coming up.
I do.
She's not going to tell us what it is, and we have the Ripper Recipe Roundup.
Ugh. We need to change that next year.
Maybe we need to change the producer.
Yeah.
I'm on a high.
Yeah. To make it things a little bit different. Today, we've got no history lessons, no regional influences.
No presidents.
No presidents.
No Scandinavian, French, Chinese, or English ancestry.
That's right. Oh, I think we're wrong with one of those, but we'll get back to that.
Just a bunch of ball-up stuff-ups.
That's it. Now, I wasn't going to say that line because Sister Martin Mary would be disappointed with me, and I can't do that.
Yeah. So this is the no. So sort of like those T-shirts you get in Singapore, no spitting, no cursing, no this, and no walking. Yeah.
That's right. We got the no nothing, just some fun shows. And at the end, we've got 5 failed food products that stayed that way.
Whoa. Okay, so fun fact number 1.
Please.
Dunkin' Donuts in the 70s.
Does that be Dunkin' Donuts?
Well, Aussies call it. My Aussie cousin, when he was over there, he called it Dunkin' Donuts. If it's not too far out of your way, Martin used to tell me, "Could you go get some Dunkin' Donuts for me?" Yeah. Okay. So they found a solution for making those donuts with the holes in it, what to do with the middles.
Yep.
And they called them munchies.
Munchkins.
Munchkins. Okay.
Munchkins.
So
do you want my glasses?
Yeah. So munchkins, and of course, then they just did it, of all the different flavors of the donuts. So you got glaze and chocolate cake and blueberry and jelly. So they figured out something to do with the middles.
That's right. There's a marketing genius doing that right there. Now, okay, so we leave the alcohol fun fact to me. Fun fact number 2. The Dutch, you know what? They were looking for a tax loophole here. I love this story for a number of reasons. So they were shipping alcohol, and they evaporated the liquid down to a certain level so they could fit in more cargo and pay less tax, thinking that they would add water to it when they got there, I'm guessing. Yeah. It was called, I'm going to pronounce this incorrectly because I'm not Dutch, but it looks like brandewijn, which means burnt wine, and stored in wood casks. When it was open on the other end, it had a whole new aroma, color, and taste, and brandy was born. Oh. And thanks to that, when Brendan's mom used to feel a little bit unwell, that would help her.
Yep.
True. And, well, this is a gambling story, really. I think we might know this. 1762, John Montague, who was a lord, was in the middle of an intense gambling session and wouldn't leave the game for meals. He instructed his cook to prepare food which you could easily eat without leaving the table. He was the 4th Earl of Sandwich.
What happened to the other oils of sandwich? And the Duke?
Well, that was the fourth then, so then you get the fifth and the sixth. But so basically, shove it between two pieces of bread, one-handed, and I can still hold my cards.
Yep. Yeah. What did he do for the toilet, buddy? If he didn't want to leave the game. Oh,
well, that was the day of the chamber pot, so you never know. At least, they didn't have Silvio at the table going, go ahead. Who are you, Hazel?
Yeah, right. All right. So we'll take our first little break and we'll be back with more. Just don't make me choose. So here we go with our legendary muck-ups.
That's right. That Sister Martin Mary would be more happy with that.
With a muck-up?
Muck-up.
Yeah, but I could just see kids with a little list.
Yeah. Talking about fire trucks can also be a tricky one with little kids.
Mm-hmm. And the Falkland Islands. We had a problem with that in school. Where are the Falkland Islands? I don't know.
How the Falkland would I know? Right. So let's start with this is a sweet story, the popsicle.
That was a mistake.
It was a happy mistake. Okay, so this makes sense because some little kid left his cup of soda with his stirring stick out in the cold, like left it out the front. You know when kids drop their balls, their bikes, everything just inside, didn't care. And then the next morning, it was frozen.
And the popsicle was born.
And that's it. And they called it, Frank Epperson invented it, and he called it the Episicle because it was like an icicle. But later made it for his own kids and called it Popsicle.
Wow.
So why is it called an ice block here? That's what I'd like to know.
I don't know.
Strange things.
Because they can't. Anyway. So he patented a name in 1923.
There you go.
And then they added milk to it and orange soda. That's a creamsicle.
That is a creamsicle. Yeah. Yes.
Okay. So and then we got the legendary buffalo wings. And I think everybody knows that story from the Ankle Bar in Buffalo, New York.
That's right.
And it had nothing to do with Frank's, but only thing it was just sitting around, so they used the hot sauce. And that's how it became. Just something to keep the people happy.
Just a little simple thing. Well, you have another thing with hot sauce. Tell us about.
Well, the other one, the legendary one, is 3 a.m., which is Blair's, right?
Yes.
And that's like the little bitty bottle, but really super concentrated.
It's an additive.
Yeah, it's an additive. Yeah, they tell us an additive. So the owner of a bar that concocted this together couldn't get the people out of the bar. So then he did like a challenge. Okay, try some of this. And that's how 3 a.m. came about, because at 3 a.m. he started feeding them because he wanted to get out by 4, and they left. Crying
past the emergency room, possibly on the way home. That's another good. Now this one is close to my heart. Brownies. So brownies it's a fallen cake is the story. So someone didn't cook it long enough. It came out, and I wonder how many times that had happened and people just chucked it.
I don't. No, well, I don't bake cakes, but if Jeanette makes a cake and if it doesn't come out, there's always something on it that's good.
That's right.
Yeah, like the ends of it or the burnt parts are usually good.
And the thing is, the hardest part about making a good brownie is not overcooking it.
Yeah.
So, because it goes against all your instincts, because it still has to be sort of moving in the middle.
Yeah, no, I'm just thinking about doing the same thing there. We sell now the Taco Bell little chips.
They're so good.
Which we had a big discussion with our broker because he says, "Oh, these are 100% cheese. You got any permit?" Blah blah blah. I said, "No, they are chips. They're classified as chips, and chips don't need to be classified because they're a baked product." Blah blah blah. She fought up and down. I said, "You put it down as a baked product, let the government decide." So we do have them. Okay. So that's almost like a mistake, but it's a mistake whenever you make a grilled cheese, and the cheese lets out and goes on the pan and burns and gets crispy, and you chop it up and eat it. Yeah. Well, that's what these things are.
It's so good.
Yeah.
I actually put, before I flip it, I put a little bit of cheese on the pan so it sort of burns onto the bread, because I want to make sure I've got the ratio right.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that's how that started. It was just an oops.
Yeah.
Now,
yogurt.
I was waiting for the Carlin.
The George Carlin yogurt.
Now, yogurt would have had to be an accident because that's just sour milk, basically.
Well, so is buttermilk,
Yeah, no, but how long
and sour
do you
cream. I get, and I said it before, and I'll say it again. How do you know when sour cream is sour?
That's right.
Yeah.
I've had a conversation about yogurt with a friend, at my first job. I said, "How do you know when it's gone?" And she goes, "Once it dries out and cracks, that's when I throw it away."
But now the yogurt that we eat now is completely different than the original Dannon yogurt that I remember my grandmother eating. and the taste and everything was complete. I used to like the old one because that's what I tasted
Yeah.
first. And then, it evolved and they made it more palatable because it was probably more tangy or more sour
It
in
was.
the day.
And when I was a kid, all of the fruit was always
on the
on
bottom.
the bottom.
Yeah.
And so you kind of like kid yourself like you're having make it look fancy and just
Yeah.
tip it upside down in a bowl.
Oh, we never did. They would just stir it in a little pot.
Well, I was, Mom will get angry at this, but I was by myself a lot. So, no one told me not to.
Oh, look how pretty it is. Yeah.
Yes, that's a little fancy dessert for me.
But do you remember it tasting different? Or
yeah,
that was
absolutely.
Yeah. And I mean, if somebody should come back with the original tasting yogurt,
yeah,
a lot of people will like it because it is so different than what we're eating now.
It's tangy and
soury too.
Yeah, it was sour, and that's why I think there was the fruit in it, and you can kind of mix in what you wanted in it. But it was. Sorry.
Yeah, please tell the listeners how it's accidentally created.
Yes, producer. Okay, we're in trouble. So I'll read this out because this is gross. Central Asian herdsmen stored milk in containers made out of animal stomachs. Yum!
Tripe.
To preserve it while on the go. They noticed some of the milk became thick and tart due to the process of good bacteria. Yummy. Okay, 2 questions. Who was the idiot that said, I'll just taste that?
Yeah.
And the second thing, how did they know it was good bacteria?
Exactly. It's coming out of a sow's stomach.
Okay, I think they've sort of, yes, but God bless people for trying anything.
Then we got all sorts. I never had all sorts because it's licorice, right?
Yes, licorice.
Yeah, so that's beyond me. So I have no.
I reckon this story is rubbish myself. But again, I just thought of another muck up. Yeah. Forget all sorts. Look, there was an accident. They were all together. Yeah. People thought it was pretty. They bought it. The voodoo chips.
Yeah. Oh, that was just like throw everything together.
Yeah, because the story, the legend was that a whole bunch of things, of the seasonings sort of fell together by accident.
Yeah.
And then they just thought they'd make a bunch of chips out of it.
Yeah, it tasted good.
And it was. And it was all the flavorings that Zaps, isn't it? Chips did.
And then we got
SpaghettiOs.
Yeah, so that was just created by Donald Gorick.
I think so. Or Gork. Gork.
Yeah. Gork in 1965. And just to make it where it was edible for kids.
You could get it all on a spoon and not flick off everywhere.
Yeah, so that was a good idea.
That was a very practically unspillable.
So was that an accident or was he's trying to create it?
Well, maybe the finding of the circle was the accident, but my proudest moment in my life, after my first communion, I was wearing it all white.
Yep.
We went to Carmelo's, and I ordered, to my mother's horror, spaghetti bolognese, and I didn't spill anything on myself for the only time in my life. I'm pretty sure.
Was it created?
No, we skipped it.
We skipped it because we weren't interested.
Yeah, we're not interested in all sorts. So you sort that out yourself.
Brittany can tell you the story later.
Yeah.
I'll send you, if you want to email me, I'll send you how it was done. That's fine.
All right, you'll be bombarded with emails. I doubt it. Yeah. All right, then we got coffee. I like this coffee one.
Yeah, tell me.
So coffee, legend has it, the first coffee was because of the magical effects of coffee was on a goat.
You want a hyper goat? That's
so
exactly
one day, many, many years ago, Chaldee, an Ethiopian goatier. It's a goatier or goat
herder, I think it should be.
Goat herder.
But yeah.
He's a go-to guy. How's that?
He is. Chaldee, the go-to guy.
So he was watching his goats out in the field and he noticed that they were cheerful. And then how could you tell the goats cheerful and then we seen that way goats and they're always like
until they bite you.
Yeah, well that just keeps them happy.
That's right.
So he followed them around and it turns out the goats were eating beans and leaves from a particular tree.
Right.
So he was curious enough, and he said, "I'll try giving that some myself." So he gave some to a monk. And they both had trouble staying awake and throughout their prayers. Yeah. No, so they were having trouble.
Yes,
staying awake and through their prayers, and this took care of that.
I'm sure there's zing.
But who thought about roasting it, grounding it, and putting it?
I know these are the things. Like really.
Well, that was the beginning of. Oh, this is something good to eat.
That's right. Yeah. That's right. Here's another thing. He's the first person that decided raw fish was a good idea. But
it was The Man in the Sea. Remember that movie? The Old Man in the Sea?
No.
He was on the boat and he had nothing to eat, and he caught the fish, and everybody was. And I remember it distinctly as a kid. And he's cutting it with his knife and taking out like a fillet off the top and eating it raw. And people going, ah! Well, yeah. Now it's like, oh wow, look, he's eating sushi. Yeah.
I'll pay $75 for that,
Yeah.
fresh. So sushi. So we do have China in here. That's what I was going to correct at the beginning.
Yeah. No.
In ancient China, sushi was originally a way of preserving fish by storing it in fermented rice. Eventually, fermented rice was replaced with rice vinegar, or vinegar rice, which leads to the types of sushi we have today. But it was China, not Japan. So when did that happen? But I'll have to look that up later.
World's Fair.
World's Fair.
The World's Fair. And speaking of China, it's tofu.
I knew you were going to say that. Tofu.
Tofu, F-U, fu, T-O, tu. I read things phonetically.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
How do you spell phonetically?
Moving on. I'll read. Do you want me to read it,
No,
or
you
do you
can read
want the
this one.
tofu?
No, you
Okay.
can read it.
The Chinese invention of tofu is believed to have happened sometime during the Han Dynasty, 206 to 220 BC. Legend has it a cook was experimenting with flavoring a batch of cooked soybeans with nagari seaweed and ended up producing bean curd. However, other stories exist, such as a man who blended cooked soybeans as he wanted to prepare a soft dish to feed his elderly parents.
Oh.
I don't know. I only like it fried.
Yeah.
Although I've made an omelet with tofu.
Yeah, because it's sort of like creamy. Some
Yeah,
of it,
so you
and then you
can-
got the firm one, and the firm one you fry, and the creamy one you do
Yeah,
with
and it
eggs.
doesn't really have too much. It takes on the taste that you put
Yeah.
with it. But
And you think you eat something really healthy.
I don't know. Well, the next thing is someone
Iceberg lettuce.
Iceberg, yes. Now,
Right.
Ainsley, this is her only lettuce she will eat. And my friend's dad, Ray, he will only eat the
So
good
icebergs
lettuce.
are the normal ones.
Yeah, it's the
Yeah,
one.
the romaine is the normal.
No,
Is the first one. I
yeah,
guess.
so iceberg has basically zero nutritional value. But you
Water.
but it crunches.
Yeah.
It crunches.
So, just in 1920, a crop of Chris head lettuce was a bit paler,
Mhm.
sweeter, crunchier than normal. So instead of being a wasted crop, they decided a new breed of lettuce was born. So I don't know how they got it together, how
I
they
don't know.
blended it, but somehow it happened in the field. So the shippers liked it because it stayed crisp for longer, so it was easier to transport than traditional lettuce. And the farmers decided to breed these types, and there we go. And then we have
Well, and it was important because it was trains. It was, the refrigeration was not. Yeah.
nothing. Well, if he's again going to the old stories of Heinz and pickling and all
Yeah,
that,
that's
or
right.
what went about, and also with Bird's Eye.
Yep.
The limitations of refrigeration in those days.
Yeah, so this I'm sure could get a little bit further, maybe another few states away. So
Yeah.
that would help as well. Now, okay, because this is an American show, I'm going to confidently say fillet of fish. What did they say it here?
Oh, fillet.
Fillet of
Like,
fish.
what's a fillet?
I know, what the hell?
Could I have a fillet? Like a fillet steak.
I know, it's a fillet.
Mhm.
So a fillet of fish. The controversial McDonald's.
But
Yeah.
fillet is French.
That's right. So
Fillet is not a French word.
no, it's a bastardization of that French word.
Oh, as if you don't do that.
Yeah.
Hell,
Drinkability? Is that
yeah,
what you're
it
going to
is.
say? Brendan has a
That's
huge
right.
problem with Budweiser, saying
Budweiser.
saying it has drinkability.
As if you look
Yeah,
murder
well-
language.
Oh, please.
Go on.
Super with an A?
Move on.
Super.
Shush, which shush is it? I got shush, I burn my tooth.
Thank you, Mr. Stone. So McDonald's made this in 1965. Are we right now?
Yes.
Okay, boys. To elevate Good Friday sales. So it was named the filet of fish. It's a bread-crumbed fish sandwich with tartar sauce and American cheese. Still on the menu today. Actually, I love them. And I gross out my children if I get them. And before they started doing things fresher, it was the only thing you could get really hot because they had to make them, they didn't make them ahead.
Yeah.
So so that is how that sort of they were only going to be doing it limited amounts Fridays, and now it's
All the time.
across the thing.
Yeah, I don't think they sell that many of them, but
No, just to
but
me.
anyway, and at one time,
Yeah.
the McDonald's were the highest user of cod.
Oh,
It
for
was
the
codfish. I don't know what they use now. They probably use any codfish. It's too expensive.
that's right. It's like the chicken McNugget of fish sandwiches.
Yeah.
Just put together.
So then we come down to graham crackers.
Sylvester Graham, a puritanical 19th century minister, believed romantic feelings of any sort to be bad, and that delicious, flavorful food stimulated those emotions. He believed that the plain grain-based biscuit would make people more wholesome, less fun. Why?
And that's how
live
graham flour came about.
Why live a whole life if love is bad and good food is bad?
Yeah.
Just sleep is bad. Just stand up straight with pins in your eyes. That's the only thing that'll work. I swear.
Oh, and this is I should let you do this because you like Eggs Benedict.
Okay.
But Eggs Benedict also because of
yes.
Pass. All right.
Pass.
I'll think of his name. Yeah. I can't.
See, it's a happy accident day. It'll come back.
Yes, it'll come back.
Well, what I like about Eggs Benedict, it was a hangover cure. Said to be first prepared for a hungry and hungover Wall Street broker. He walked into the Waldorf Hotel in New York in 1894. He ordered butter toast, poached eggs, crisp bacon, and hollandaise. The maitre d' was so impressed he made it a permanent fixture, and it's still popular with those who are hungover or hungry today.
Well, Gordon Ramsay always says hollandaise is just bacteria. Yeah, you watch all the shows. He says, "Yeah, don't order the Eggs Benedict because the hollandaise sauce is because if you don't make it fresh and serve it right away, it goes off very quickly."
Oh, yes. Luckily, I have my Thermomix, which will make it fresh, and then it's so good. But it does go bad right away. You have to check it.
Let's go on with gin and tonic. I don't need glasses for this.
Yes.
Okay. So in the 19th century, British colonists in India drank it to cope with malaria because of the quinine in the water. So quinine is supposed to be like a medical treatment for malaria, and it stops the fevers, the chills, and the gin just made it more tastier. And somewhere along the line came in, and but the lime was a bonus because it also took care of scurvy.
Do you know my grandpa? So my mom's dad, he was come here, sook.
Yeah.
And he'd be having a gin and tonic. He goes, "This is what got the British through India." I can hear him right now.
Wow. That should be a tagline on a bottle
that should be. Well, I've got some Bombay Sapphire up there.
Yeah.
Do you know, let me tell you a quick story. I freaked out my mother. My 21st birthday, Mom took me away to Monterey. We go to a restaurant. Now, I've been working at a car dealership since I was 16, by the way. So we go to the restaurant. The waiter comes over and Mom's like, "Oh, you can order a drink. You know, what do you want, this or that?" And I'm just like, yeah, I'll have a Bombay Sapphire gin and tonic. Thank you. And she's like, "How do you know that?" I'm like, "Well, I don't know.
Yeah.
I just do."
Yeah, and then funny thing about gin.
Yeah.
Between the brands, are very distinctive taste.
Oh, absolutely. And now there's so many flavored ones. They're almost like liqueurs.
Yeah.
We had a rhubarb one the other day.
And they're very sharp.
Yeah.
They're like the rhubarb. I like the rhubarb one, but then you can buy rhubarb bitters too.
Oh, I didn't know that. I need to get a few of those now. I know we're getting off topic and he's going to throw things at us.
That was probably a mistake too. Anyway.
That's a happy mistake.
So then we got the crepes.
Oh my God. Crepes. This is for Crepe Suzette, actually.
Oh. When did she come about?
Do you want me to tell a story?
Yeah, you can.
Okay.
I'll do the short ones.
Okay, you do the short ones. It says, yes. Okay, in 1895, a 14-year-old assistant waiter named Henri Charpentier at a restaurant in Monte Carlo while he was sautéing crepes in butter and liqueur for the Prince of Wales, the future King Edward II. And the whole thing caught on fire. So he thought the dish was ruined, but after waiting for the flames to die down, he took a taste. I hope he didn't do that at the table. He took a taste and knew he had actually created something special. The dish was named after the lady at the prince's table. Now, we haven't had a Queen Suzette, so I don't know what the lady was doing at the table, if she was the partner of someone else. But Suzette was at the table and it was named after her. Yes, well, we know how that works. Okay, Phil, you can do the next one.
Okay, cheese puffs.
Yay!
Wow, cheese puffs first invented, believe it or not, as animal feed.
I believe it.
1930s. So a curious employee named Edward Wilson decided to take home some of the puff pellets and produce them made from grain. And one season, he thought they tasted good. So they had cheese puffs. So I don't know. He probably didn't use cheese to flavor it first. Probably like salt and pepper and all that. But have you ever seen how cheese puffs are made? It's just like it
Yeah.
just pops
It
out.
just pops out. Well, Ralphie, our packing. If you receive a package from us, we use a product called Envirofill, and it's made out of corn, so it's fully
It's basically the same thing.
Yeah, so
You can eat it.
biodegradable.
We used to have one of the fellows used to work with us. Used to eat it all the time.
Yeah, I tried one just like on a bet.
Yeah.
Ralphie loves it. Like he will move quicker for one of those than he will for a treat.
So if you the thing is like when you, even though we package our stuff in it, but
Yes.
I really feel bad for people when they open up because it goes over
I know.
everywhere. So you need a little dog.
Yeah.
Hey, look, go have that.
Eat that. It's all on the floor. Go get it.
Yeah.
Yes.
But
it is-
unfortunately, they do work very well.
Yeah.
They're environmentally safe, and they protect all the things from breaking.
Yeah, which happens because we have hard and soft things going together, and you can put it in your compost, all that good stuff. Now, the Bakewell pudding. That's so.
Never heard of it.
Well, haven't you? It's in. If you get the Mr. Kipling's things, they often have them. So it's said to be a result of one person was going to be the person visiting wanted a strawberry tart. So it's sort of strawberry jam.
That has anything to do with his mistress. I'm reading this
the
here.
mistress of
with the strawberry tart
of the hotel.
Oh.
Phil, stop now. So because if you make like a frangipane, like those eggy, like almondy, the bottom of a tart, so they had already made that, and then they put the strawberries on top, the jam on top, and that was a new thing. It was a Bakewell pudding. Oh, someone's having something as we walk through right here. I love this story about raisins because all kids know that raisins are a ripoff. If you try to go, here's a box of raisins.
Yeah.
They go, where are the M&Ms?
Oh.
That's not candy.
Yeah, that's true. It's not candy. Yeah.
No, but people try to pass it off to their
it's
children.
Sweet.
Yeah, that's right. But
so they did that back in the 2000 BC in Egypt or somewhere, right?
Yep. And someone found a dried crop.
In King Tut's tomb, or where was it?
King Tut's tomb. Oh my God.
Give that a little kid. He's gonna die soon anyway. Yeah.
Now, who was the one that decided to pick this nasty dried thing on a branch and eat it?
Yeah.
But in medieval times, it was the sweetener of choice because you could boil it down. But they were used as, this is what I don't believe, they were used as trading items and prizes at sports events. You run the fastest mile.
Yeah.
Here's some raisins.
Yeah. Well, they don't. Or why do they call them sultanas?
Well, because it's a different grape. So raisins are, there's different grape varieties.
Oh, okay.
So here, the raisins are actually, what they call raisins are different from raisins back at home. So
all
there
right.
we go.
So pink lemonade.
Yep.
Okay. American culture for more than a century, invented by accident by dropping red-colored cinnamon candies, Red Hots.
Yep.
Okay. Into the traditional
lemonade.
So somebody's eating candies while they're eating lemonades and it fell in. That's really what happened. The
Yes.
girl with the little hat on with the big plunger.
Yes, that's right. A hot dog on a stick.
Yeah.
There it was. But now they flavor it with berry, like they do strawberry. And this goes to the other combination that my friend Amy came up with. Her mother, makes apple pie with Red Hots.
Yeah.
So it's cinnamon apple pie and it's pink.
Now, the next one is our favorite.
We love these.
Dog, I love to have a chimichanga.
I know. Is that place still open? We should check Uber Eats. You can get a chimichanga somewhere.
It's going to be fried, fattening, unhealthy. Anyway, it all came about by Monica Flynn.
Yep.
In 1922. So she accidentally dropped a burrito in a frying pan, and the oil splashed of it, and she was about to swear. Why not?
Why not? That's a time to swear.
And stopped herself because her nieces and nephews were around, and she yelled, "Chimichanga!"
I call BS on that story.
Yeah. Why would you call it? Why?
When you go something like, ouch.
Yeah.
Chimichanga.
Oh shit. Yeah. Maybe that's what it means in Spanish. You got to look it up.
Maybe that's it. But this is more like a West Coast food item.
Yeah.
So fried burrito. And they are so good. But you need some Pepto-Bismol or some Tums later on because it hits.
No, actually, Coca-Cola does it.
Oh, fix it?
Because
Okay.
the acid in the Coke
just breaks it up.
Breaks it all down. Yeah.
I do love this. Now, we were talking before we started recording about how I miss appetizers.
Yeah.
Like fried fried zucchini sticks, and the little button mushrooms and all those things you get before. And one of them I love is toasted ravioli. So it evidently happened in St. Louis and
at the World's Fair.
So
well, it must have been because it had to be because they would not know what a ravioli is if they stood on their head in Missouri.
Yes, okay? That would have brought it over. I agree.
Even when I went there as a kid in the late 60s and stuff, they didn't even know where Bogota is. In Kansas and Missouri, and the Midwest had no idea what Italian food was.
Italian?
Yeah, they just thought it was Chef Boyardee.
Well, there's 2 restaurants, and they're saying that they came up with it. So one restaurant, Orlandi's, claims in the 40s, a chef tipsy on red wine accidentally dropped ravioli into a fryer. And the restaurant Angelo's said the waiter instructed an untrained cook to drop some raviolis, and they mistakenly thought he meant into boiling oil.
Yeah, both so true.
I reckon they're both be true.
But it is good, but you need a good ravioli. The stuff you have here, way too small. And they're not enough filling.
No, I agree.
Yeah. So basically, it's a calzone, a miniature calzone.
It is true. Very good. Mm-hmm. Oh, yes. Actually, there's a restaurant in Parkdale, and when we're able to eat out again, but they do deliveries. Yeah. Bueno is called, and they do beautiful, all homemade pasta, and their raviolis are big. Good. So when we're allowed out, you should try theirs. Now,
Champagne.
Dom
Perignon. He invented champagne. I didn't even have to read this. So I know that Dom Perignon invented it. It was down there. The bottles were popping or whatever. And he came up with the design of the bottle. I don't know if he came up with it or somebody else. The design of the bottle stopped it from popping.
That's right, because they put them on like an angle.
They put it on an angle, but it's that little thing underneath it that has that goes up.
Yep, the dimple in the bottle.
Like all that design stopped it from happening. But so when he went down there and they were popping, he drank some. Like,
Well, don't waste it.
Yeah, but the natural carbonation took over, and it was fizzy.
Yes.
Oh, this is good. And fizzy alcohol gets you...
drunk faster.
Yeah, thank you. So he was a pretty happy
Well, actually, I wonder how much he drank before he yelled to his friends, "Come quickly, I'm drinking the stars."
Yeah.
It's a very romantic French thing to say. Oh, okay. Blue cheese. This is my grandfather as well. Legend has it, blue cheese was invented by an accident when a drunken cheesemaker left behind there's a theme here, a half-eaten loaf of bread in a cheese cave. Upon returning, he discovered the moldy bread had transferred to the cheese, turning it blue. Why did he eat it? These days, it's made under more controlled circumstances with specific bacteria. I adore blue cheese, and I can remember my grandfather...
Another good thing that came out of alcohol.
God bless it. Yes. God bless the drunks. And my grandpa put the same grandpa with the gin and tonic, a big bit of blue cheese on a cracker, and he's like, "Get that into your sook." And he goes, and then I'm pretty sure he said something about penicillin, and I wouldn't get sick ever. But I love blue cheese. But
most kids, it's a more mature taste.
Yeah.
Kids won't like blue cheese.
No, I was weird. But why? Who was the smart man that said, "I'll just take a little bit off the top and try it"?
Yeah, I ain't throwing this out. You know how much I pay for that cheese? Some cheap bastard, yeah.
That's right.
Either that, or maybe he was drinking a lot too. Yeah. And he couldn't see what it was. It's just like my Uncle Joey eating the donuts with the ants floating around, thinking they were sprinkles because he didn't have his glasses on.
And the moral is, don't forget your glasses.
Yeah, especially I guess he couldn't even tell that they were moving.
Oh my God! Maybe they were stuck. Maybe they got stuck in the glaze.
The sugar, yeah.
Okay. Ice cream floats, Phil. Do you want me to do that, or do you want to talk about it?
I got no excitement over ice cream floats. Everybody knows. So it was late 19th century. Robert Greene.
Yes.
He owned a soda shop in Philly. Yeah. Okay. Carbonated water. Something. He came out, ran out of cream, and used ice cream instead.
Which is much better than cream. So there you go.
Yeah.
And my mom makes a killer ice cream sundae. Oh, a slushy. God bless 7-Eleven for made it the Slurpee slushy. Created by accident in Missouri in the late 50s. The shop owner set a fountain kept breaking down, and in order to keep them chilled, he put them in the freezer. So when he served them, they were frozen and slushy. Customers loved it, coming back to specially request those pops that were in a little bit longer.
Yeah. and now they put it in a machine. Because how many times have you, like, oh, I got to get this cold, and then you put like a bottle of something in the freezer, and then you forget about it, and then you go open up the freezer and it's broken.
Yes. Well, I set the
I
timer.
did that
now.
recently.
Oh, did you? I always set the timer, Phil. And then, although sometimes I go, what did I set the timer for? I'll just turn it off. Now, do you know this candy? I don't know this candy. Swizzles.
No, it's a UK thing.
Yeah, but it's the first chewy candy to exist. And this guy was experimenting with a new machine and discovered it was possible to create a lollipop with 2 flavors instead of 1.
Wow.
Well,
So like certs.
that's 2. Go ahead.
What's this one? Tartan Titan?
Oh, hello, Brendan. Tartatan. Brendan 27 times last night goes, how do I say it?
Tartan. Well, I guess if we can't pronounce it, we don't know what it is.
Yes.
So why is it even on the list?
Because it's really good. So it is, the French pastry where, it's beautiful, like all the apples are laid out on top, right? So it was an accident because it's basically an upside down pie. So someone was cooking and they were making the apple tart and they forgot the pastry. Like they stuck it in the oven and realized that the pastry wasn't on the bottom. They just put the apples in.
Yeah.
Someone obviously didn't have the Ethiopian coffee early in the morning. And so the other person ran and quick popped the pastry on top of it and then flipped it. And it's beautiful. Like when you do it properly, it's yum. So that is tartatan. It became its own thing.
Yeah. And then we got the artificial sweetener, aspartame, which is known as, what's the commercial name for it? Saccharin?
I'm not sure.
It would be 1965. That would be saccharin. So Dr. James is a doctor that invented it.
Well, he's a chemist. Schlatter. Imagine going through school with that name. Hey, Schlatter.
He worked on discovering an anti-ulcer drug, and when he licked his finger and picked out a piece of paper, he found that it was sweet.
Why would you, it's...
Again, why are you tasting stuff that you just made in a...
In a lab. Don't taste anything. Yeah. So it's likely to be one of the only times accidentally ingesting a chemical in science has had a positive outcome.
Yeah, well, I guess he didn't have much taste buds because he couldn't taste the bitter aftertaste.
Oh, God, yeah. They get you every time.
And dipping dots, you could do that one.
Oh, dipping dots. So they're like the little ice cream, almost like hundreds and thousands, little balls of ice cream. They feature miniature ice cream balls. It was invented by a microbiologist, Kurt Jones, in Lexington, Kentucky in 1988. He realized anything added to liquid nitrogen instantly froze and applied the technique to ice cream. And then he called Heston Blumenthal as a small child and told him to get on that.
And then we got Eaten Mess.
Eaten Mess. Do you know this one?
No.
I love this dessert.
Well, I don't know. Maybe I had it, but I didn't know what it was
called.
called.
You know what it is? You know it, Phil. You'll love this. Think of Jamie. Think of Gordon.
Yeah.
When they go, it's rustic. So this is a deconstructed pav. So someone basically dropped the meringue in the kitchen.
Yeah.
So they mixed broken meringue and the strawberries and cream all together instead of wasting food and served it and gave it the name Eaten Mess. So it's deconstructed.
So he picked it up off the floor.
Yeah. Well, as to quote, God made dirt and dirt don't hurt the old days.
Yeah. And here we got the most unpronounced name or mispronounced word in the Australian vocabulary.
Oh, yes. You say it for me, Phil.
I can't say the Australian one.
Nachos.
Not nacho.
Yes, nachos.
Nachos. Brendan, how do you say?
I can see the R in there. Nachos.
Nachos.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's bad.
So nachos was a mistake too?
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, let's look. It was accidentally invented by a maitre d' named Ignacio Nacho Añana at the Victory Club in Mexico. Mm-hmm. So 10 hungry U.S. military wives crossed the border and were able to locate the chef. They weren't able to get the chef. So the maitre d' improvised by covering a plate of chips with grated cheese. He melted it under a broiler, topped it with sliced jalapenos, and served it as an appetizer.
There you go.
Still works today. Yeah. Doesn't matter. It fixes it. The nachos. Yeah, it is.
The nachos.
And let's go for
the nachos.
Jalapenos, tortillas.
Yeah. How would they say chimichanga?
I have no. Well, let's just see, Brendan. How would you say it if you just read that?
Chimichanga.
Yeah.
Chunga. He said it. Yeah, he said chimichanga.
Chunga. Yeah.
Chunga.
Leave us alone.
You want to have a good thing next time you go to over to L.A.,
Yes.
get an Aussie in your car and start going past the boulevards and say, how do you say that? Super Vidia. Oh, yeah.
What's that word?
Sepulveda. La Cienega.
Oh.
How would they? Yeah.
So it'd be lay, and it'd be a hard C.
Yeah.
We had a GPS, and we put it in the Australian accent for you. Well, for us, it was funny because it was like all those things. It was like, oh my God, that's so funny. It was very recalculating.
Yeah, they tell you, Phil, when they first came out with like the phone, and the phone used to tell you who's sending you a message.
Yes.
And he was going out with a girl named Virginia.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
Yeah, and the phone kept to say, phone message from.
Oh my God. We're going to be cutting that one out. Just put it out there.
No, it's true. It's true.
I believe you.
I mean, it's not false.
Right. Okay. Now, here is the legend of the Viennetta ice cream cake. Now, when I first came here as an exchange student, so that was before. What year did you guys move here?
93, I think.
Okay, so I was 86.
Mm-hmm.
These were so fancy. I was like, ooh, that's fancy. So it was like a rippled bunch of ice cream in a loaf shape. So we have found out there was the legend of how it was created is there was an air hose leak in the manufacturing plant, and it resulted in a wavy layer of ice cream. So Flavio Licata, who was the Unilever Streets ice cream finance manager, sort of gave us the story on it. And one of the quotes and this is how it was too, like if you're going to impress your boyfriend or your girlfriend, you get the Viennetta out, or you have company coming.
Yeah, company coming. Don't touch it. It's for company.
That's right. It's
right.
Like it's the attendance.
Can't eat it.
That's right. So it's in the freezer, so you can just stay. So this person was just saying he begged for this. Dad bought it once because it was kind of expensive for its size, and I thought it was really uptown when I ate this. The flavors, vanilla, and over the years, chocolate and mint and pistachio. Really uptown.
Now, you know the source, Phil, of this, that Flavio?
Flavio.
That's Flavio.
That's your buddy. Oh, really?
It.
Oh, that's what he does.
Yeah.
Oh.
Got any words for him? He was
No.
listening.
Hey.
Change.
Ah.
He has to have made it up.
Yeah. Not a name like Flavio. Well, you imagine him being on the phone and so he said, what's your name? He's on with a young lady or whatever. And, I'm Flavio. And she might say, oh, she must have all these pictures of this tall, beautiful, dark, Italian with flowing hair.
Yeah.
Flavio, she's thinking about all the.
And then he walks in.
Who'd have? Fabio. Yeah,
okay.
You lying son of a.
Yes. I can imagine. Luckily, he was married before there was online dating. There we go. Shocking. Now we've got a quick bonus segment. Quick fire, rapid fire. 5 failed food products that stayed that way. New Coke, 1985.
Yeah, that didn't last long.
What, 77 days?
Wow. The New Coke. Because nobody bought it.
No, because everyone's like, what the hell is that? I don't want New Coke. I want Coke.
I want the old Coke. And then he came out with Coke Classic.
That's right.
Yeah.
That is right.
And now they call the Coke over here, which still doesn't taste like the American Coke, which is the Coke Classic. Now they call it Coke Classic here, too.
Liars.
Yeah. And then Pepsi also had to go at something like that. Crystal Pepsi.
That's right. It was clear.
Without the caramel coloring in it, because then it's clear.
That's right. Just the chemical. It's what it was.
And nobody said, oh, wait. Because you can't taste the coloring, but nobody wanted it.
No, because it's just like eating.
Yeah. If I want it clear, I'll be drinking 7-Up.
That's exactly right. And then they had the blue one that's kind of come back now, but that was out and gone.
Yeah. And then Nestle came out the Dasani?
Dasani water.
But they still make Dasani water.
They do, but I think, yes, they do. But the original one was failed because it had a carcinogen in it.
Oh.
Well, you're trying to drink water to stay alive.
Yeah. Well, you want that so certain parts of you like glow in the dark. It's easy when you're going into the theater to find your seat.
That is true. Fair point. Now, I love this one because I personally have bacon lip balm. I got it one.
Right.
This is Cheetos lip balm. That didn't last long, and I can see why.
Well, turn everything orange.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Then cheesy. Ugh.
Why not? Well, cheesy
Cheesy lip balm?
Yeah, well, it tastes good. But just that I can imagine the color.
Oh, I know. It's not we might go with the fake tan.
Yeah.
Well,
And then McDonald's came into this also.
Yes.
In the 1980s, early 90s
Yeah.
with Mac Pizza.
And the problem was
It's too long. We got to wait for it.
11 minutes.
Yeah.
It took. No one has time for that.
And McDonald's, their thing is their IPA or not what do you call it? IKA or KPI.
KPI.
Got the initials backwards.
That's all right.
Their KPI is 2 minutes online and 2 minutes to serve. That's their. So if you go to McDonald's, that's basically what they want to get you out of.
Right.
Within that 4 minute window.
I'm happy with that.
And then Colgate, famous for toothpaste.
Yes.
And other dental products.
They made
lasagna.
What the hell?
Like somebody from Procter & Gamble said, we got this brand name Colgate. Why don't we make lasagna called Colgate so people think they're eating lasagna and brushing their teeth at the same time? Like, come on.
That was 1982, so I don't know what was happening.
Yeah. Okay. So that ends up this. We're going to come right back with the Ripper Recipe Roundup. Okay, we're back, Barbara.
Yep, and if you want to come see us, which we are open 7 days a week, you can come down to 73 Cochrane's Road, Moorabbin. So Monday through Thursday is 10 to 5. Friday, it is 10 to 6. Saturday, 10 to 5. Sunday, 11 to 5.
And don't forget, click and collect.
That's right. So I highly suggest when new stuff comes in, do a click and collect. And then if you want to shop around the store, do that and then pick that up on your way out. Yep. It's waiting for you there.
And you could also use our code word for the month to get a discount on your click and collect with Play Ball.
That's right. We'll only work online, so that includes click and collects, but not in the store when you come in. And please subscribe to the podcast if you feel so inclined, and send us, or you can review it too, and send us an email at podcast@usafoods.com.au.
Okay, now let's go to the listen to mail.
Oh, great. So we have one from a customer, a longtime customer, named Muffy. So she has a few questions, so we'll go through those. Hi, Phil and Barbara. Back when the podcast began, you guys said you were going to post pics of your cooking and baking that you were talking about in the podcast on the Instagram account. What's happened to that? Well, life got busy. Life got busy.
We got lazy?
We got, well, it got a little bit lazy, a little bit busy, and finding the right pics. But, as I said...
not in my job discussion.
That's But luckily, we have got some help in the marketing department.
Yep. Say hello to Anna.
Anna, who is just a superstar, and will be helping with other things. So I will have more time. I can do that, or Anna can do some as well. So there are pictures of Christmas cookies and Megan's mom's cookie recipe, but we're going to go back and put some yummy stuff up. Mm-hmm. She said, also, I keep forgetting to email my question for the anniversary show, but I was wondering.
Too late.
No, not really. I've got it right now. I was wondering who decided that Pork Fat Baby Back Blues would be your theme song. I've never heard this song prior to Gdayall, but the amount of times I find myself humming it randomly is now ridiculous.
Well, thank you.
The super producer, right?
Yes, that's our super producer, Brendan.
And we hear it through the house all
From
the time.
Fizz Farm.
That's right.
.com.au.
And she said she loves the podcast. By the way, I have been buying USA Foods products since I first discovered them being sold in Dimaru's food market. Then I had discovered your own shop that was open to the public and so much closer to home. Yay! In regards to the popcorn podcast, I would never have tried Chicago-style popcorn if not for USA Foods. Now that is a find. So keep up the good work, Muffy.
There you go.
There you go.
Maybe we do a special popcorn. Yeah. Okay.
She was good. Now we have Neil Macedo, who we spoke to. He's local. We spoke to him at the
Live and in person.
So he was enjoying the show. He wanted to pass that on. And I also had feedback from Dolores regarding popcorn. Mm-hmm. She said she puts mustard on her popcorn. Yeah, no, I did that too.
That's weird.
That is weird.
No, why not?
But
I can see honey mustard, yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to give that a shot this week. So thank you.
There's a new flavor that because they have dried honey mustard, which they put on pretzels and all that.
Yeah, it could, she's a legend. She could work.
Mm.
And also, speaking to my mother, she can remember the pink brick popcorn. And she also said it was stale and it was at the zoo and it went to the animals. So maybe that was the theme.
Mhm.
And her dad, the gin and tonic gentleman, had a popcorn maker that you put over a campfire.
Wow.
So when you
Yeah, I
went
guess
camping,
so, yeah.
so he and my Uncle Jimmy were hunters.
Keep
so
all the
they'd go out
animals
and
away,
camp
too.
it. Yeah, that would too. So that is it for the feedback I have at the moment.
Okay. So now we're going to go to our new segment. Well, not new. We did it last week.
Yes.
So our personal best products, and it's Barbara's turn today.
Yes. Now, I love a good sort of seasonal
Mhm.
because I love throwing things in and changing taste. This is a Goya product that we have.
Every boy and little Goya. What's that theme back in the Bronx?
I believe it.
Yeah.
So it's now I'm gonna rick this butt. It's a Saisonador Total. So it's called the perfect seasoning, and it has. I actually have my glasses on. It has garlic, onion, good old MSG, which salt, parsley, cumin, oregano, and just an anti-caking agent. But it smells magnificent.
Yeah, it does smell really good. I got to try some. I'm
Yeah.
going to take a little bit home with me.
Do you know what? It's
What?
good on popcorn. Because I made popcorn the other day.
Be good to make also because like yesterday I did fish tacos. That'd be
Oh,
nice on
that'd
a
be
fish
great on
taco, but and also to put into the guacamole
Mhm.
because I usually always put Tony Cachare's in my guacamole.
Oh,
and
yeah, give that a
that's
go.
really good.
And because it's a Latin seasoning, but it's not hot because I can't take hot at the moment.
Mm.
But it's really flavorful. So I have added it to just about everything, and I highly recommend it. It's a big old 11-ounce bottle,
Yep.
and I think Mackenzie's bought one. I've made everyone in the shop buy one, I think. So if I walk out, that is
So
what
we
I
have
recommend.
none left.
No, we have some left, and Sean can get some more. I am sure. So I recommend the Goya Saisonador Total.
There you go. All right. So now this week is Ripper Recipe. So you have brandied fruit.
It's brandied fruit cake.
Oh, fruit cake. So,
But I found this recipe
because it's brandy fruit day.
Yes, that's
right.
right. So brandied fruit cake. But the funny thing is, I found this recipe, and I want you to imagine Foster Brooks reading it. So, okay, quickly 1 cup butter, 2 cups sugar, 6 large eggs, 2 teaspoons baking powder, 3 cups flour sifted, half teaspoon salt, a cup of bourbon, a pound of pecans chopped, 3 cup white raisins or candied fruit, 1 teaspoon nutmeg, and a very large bottle of brandy. Very large.
That's what they cook.
That's right. First,
because you already put 1 cup into the mix. Yeah.
So first, sample the brandy to check for quality. Assemble all of the ingredients. Check brandy again to be sure if it's of the highest quality.
Yes.
Pour 1 level cup and drink.
Yeah.
Repeat this step.
Yeah.
Turn on the electric mixer and beat 1 cup of butter in a large fluffy bowl. Add 1 teaspoon of sugar and cream until beat. Make sure the whiskey is still okay. Try another cup. Turn off the mixer, beat 6 legs, and add to the bowl. Then chunk in the cup of dried fruit. Mix on the tuner. Throw in 2 quarts of flour. Gradually pour in the cow and 2 dried anything. If the fruit gets stuck in the beater, pry it loose with a screwdriver. Sample the whiskey and check it again for consistency. Next,
that's a big word.
Consistency. Next, shift 2 cups of salt or something, whatever. Check whiskey again or brandy again. And now sift the nutmeg and strain your nuts. Add 1 table and the spoon or something, whatever you find left. Grease the oven. Turn the crack pan to 350 degrees. Don't forget to pour the oven into the batter. Throw the bowl out the window. Lick the batter off the floor. Bake 300 minutes at 50 degrees. Finish the blubble of wishy and float a bit. Because we all hate fruitcake.
Yeah.
So there you go.
There you go. That sounds enjoyable. So now I got to get serious.
Now you have to get
Or
serious.
delirious. All right. So it's also pretzel day. And I figured out when Brenda gave me all a list of things to do. I said, "Oh, okay, pretzels," because I just made pretzels.
Nice.
And I put it on the internet, and people said, "Oh, they look good," and they did. Came out really good from my first go. So got the. I didn't make up the recipe, but I been doing a lot of bread and pizza dough and all that. So I'm getting really the feel of the
Nice.
of how
when it's the right knead and all of
yeah,
that.
exactly. So that really helps. So the more you, one thing is, I got to say, it's on when you're doing dough, whether you're
Mhm.
going to make pizza or pretzels or bread or bagels or bayales or whatever, you start understanding. You get into,
You got the zone.
you get the zone.
Phil.
You're in with the bread. You're in with the yeast. So you're understanding, and a lot of times, then after a while, you don't have to even use a recipe.
See, yes.
Because you feel and you touch. Anyway, so these are a German recipe,
Mhm.
and it'll take you. Prep time is 2 hours and 10 minutes, and cook time is 20 minutes, and the total time is 2 hours and 30 minutes.
Okay.
All right, so a good part of the day or morning. Anyway, so what you need is 4 cups of all-purpose flour, not the regular flour. It has to be all-purpose,
Right.
but bread flour. I use bread flour. Well, I guess that's not all-purpose anyway.
See, you've already put your spin on it.
Yeah, 2 tablespoons of salt, 2 tablespoons of sugar, 1 cup of lukewarm, remember
Yes.
warm water, and 2 packages of active dry yeast. Or I don't use the dry yeast. I use baker's yeast. So
Yeah, you get the fresh yeast now.
fresh yeast over at the Cranberry Market. Give them a little push over there on High Street. 3 tablespoons of melted butter. Okay, and that's what makes the difference. And then coarse salt, which I don't have coarse salt. I use kosher salt that is coarse.
Yeah,
so
it is.
That's coarse salt.
Flaked. Yeah.
Okay. And then, so you mix all that together. You got to let it rest and blah, blah, blah. And then you roll it out once it's all rested to rise, and you bring it back down again. Then you roll it out into strips.
Right.
Okay. And you roll it on your hands.
Mhm.
And then you form it into the shape of a pretzel, which isn't, it looks harder than what it is.
Right.
But it's basically, you go like a U shape and then up and over, and
That's it.
it's your pretzel. Okay. So then you let that sit again. You put it back into the fridge, and you
Right.
let it proof in the fridge. Right. Then when you're ready to cook, get the oven up to temperature. Very important. Any baking you do, put the oven on at least 20 minutes before you're going to put it in there, so everything is nice and hot. So you put this one here on a baking sheet with baking paper.
Yeah.
You put up a pot of water, and then you put into your pot of water a half a cup of baking soda. Because the original recipe, and I remember this from the Bagel Bakery, is the guys who made pretzels used lye in it. And a lot of things they use lye. If you buy masaka, there's lye in it.
Okay.
All right. Lye that will kill you.
Yes.
Yeah, but just enough won't kill you.
Well, yeah.
It's like chlorine. Right. Yeah. So anyway, so you put that in there because I guess you can't buy lye in a store anymore. I never looked for it. But
no, I haven't been trying to get rid of any bodies lately.
So you put that in water, bring it up to a boil, then not a rapid boil, then just bring it down. You put your pretzels in there and use one of those big spatula things,
That you can drains the water through, so it's got holes at the bottom.
Yeah, and you just put it in gently, and then it'll sink, and then give it a minute or so, and it'll come up.
Oh, like a bagel, like boiling a bagel.
Same thing with a bagel. Just comes up to the top. Okay. Drain it out. Put it on your sheet. Then you sprinkle your salt over it. And I put too much salt on it. But so put as much as you like or none.
Yep.
Okay. And you bake it in the oven. They come out. They smell beautiful. They taste great. They taste just like the pretzel you get outside of Madison Square Garden. Except they don't have that charcoaly taste because they put it on the charcoal to warm them up outside, when it's cold. Just great pretzels.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And I really think the butter in it
would do it.
Is the key.
Well, now, if my mother was having them, she would then put melted butter on top as well.
Yeah,
she
loves because you don't need to do it because of the water bath. And then some people, there's other recipes say use egg whites. There's no eggs in it.
No. Oh, awesome.
Yeah, so really simple to make.
That's a vegan recipe, except for the butter. If you did margarine, would it work?
Yeah.
Okay, well then you can
margarine
make
or
vegan
use olive
pretzels.
oil. Yeah, it's a oil in it, but the flavor you can artificially flavored margarine.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah.
Okay. So now we are going to talk about next week's show, which we're thinking we're going to do Halloween.
Yeah.
Because it's upon us. I'd still find it hard that it's not fall. I know it's spring. but I'm happy with the cold
Well,
days.
today was cold enough this morning.
Oh, I know. And it's been fantastic. I have been
And your heat works.
that's right, thank God. I've been corresponding with Jeanette.
Yeah.
I love her at Halloween because she's so excited. And the shop has been decorated and we're just having fun. So
we don't know if we're going to be on trick-or-treating or not.
No, we'll find out, but there's different ways we can work that out. So we'll talk about that next week as well.
So does a Halloween mask count as a regular mask?
No.
So everybody's going to be Halloween trick-or-treating as
doctors?
Scrubbies and doctors.
Yeah, we could do that. Or you can just put
something on the...
Oh, my God, Phil. Now, you had homework as well.
I did.
American Hustle. So you have watched it completely.
Yes, I watched it completely.
And you liked it?
Yeah, it's we used to call it back in the old days in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
It's Crook the Crook. That's what it ended up being. He crooked the crook.
Yep.
So, you know.
That is a great movie.
Next time we ever get Johnny back on the show.
Yes.
You can ask him, what's the definition of crook to crook? And he'll go through the whole thing with you.
Oh, excellent. We need to plan that.
Yes.
And we also, I think you need to watch Doubt. You haven't watched that yet, so we can talk about Mean Nuns.
Doubt of that.
Okay.
All right. So we're going to finish up with Bob Ross. Remember, he's the guy with the painting on PBS?
And he's so sweet and kind. And
he had that big afro.
Big fro. And like Brendan says, like he's sort of like the real life Mr. Squiggle, because they had Mr. Squiggle here who could make anything out of a little squiggle. Yeah. And he said,
we don't make mistakes. We just make happy accidents.
See, that's lovely. Oh. We all need a little joy.
Yeah.
So thank you very much, Phil, for coming around, drinking your lithium and behaving today.
Yes. Okay, I'm going to pour it in my car next. Okay.
See you next week.
I like fried chicken thighs that make me feel so good. Bacon fat, I'd marry that if I only could. Stoking coals soothes my soul. I love my barbecue. Understand, I'm just a man with the pork fat baby back blues. I've known girls round the world, sweet as apple pie, candy lips and honey hips make me wanna cry. Love is fine, but so is swine. Just don't make me choose. 'Cause understand, I'm still a man with the pork fat baby back blues. I've been told you don't grow old living life this way. Maybe so, but all I know is I'm living day to day. Once you find a love like mine, you know that love is true. Understand, I'm just a man with the pork fat baby back blues. Yeah, understand, I'm still your man with the pork fat baby back blues.